Hey y'all, today I'm going to talk about the stark reality, the stark truth of traveling with friends and lovers. Friends or lovers, whichever. Now, a lot of you have mentioned, wow, I would love to find a travel partner and have a relationship the way you and Paul have, because I found a travel partner. Well, I didn't find my travel partner until like 4 years into me being a nomad. I'm Minivan Lee, and I live in my minivan full time, and I have for 6 years now. And the first 4.5 years, I traveled solo, totally solo. And then Paul and I became friends, and we've been traveling ever since. Now, we've been on and off, friends, lovers, what are we? I don't know. We've gone back and forth. So I want to give you the stark reality of the way this works. Now, I know that I have just recently mentioned that it's a good idea not to go off into the wild, out into the wild blue yonder, in the middle of nowhere, alone, especially females, but guys too. There are a lot of desperate people out there because people are becoming homeless, they're losing their incomes, they're being kicked out of their homes, they're on foot. Yeah, so even guys, especially a lot of the nomads out there are retired, so they're a little bit older. They see the seniors as kind of a good match to kind of just, prey upon. Yeah. So I think it's a good idea not to travel alone, especially when you're going out in the middle of nowhere. If you're going to live in the city, that's cool. There's all kinds of people around. I have no problem being alone in the city. But if I'm going to go way out in the middle of nowhere, well, I'm not going to go alone. And I have never done that. I don't go alone when I'm out, just traveling by myself. And I never have. If I would go to Quartzsite by myself, or I'd go to Lake Havasu. But no, there's other people around during that time. So when I made that video about danger, don't travel alone, some of you did come back and say, now, wait a minute, Lee, you said that it was okay to travel alone. Well, it is, but it depends on where you're going to travel to. So let's get started with this. I want to talk about the personalities and the characteristics of somebody that you would like to travel with. I want to talk about the pitfalls of it. I also want to talk about, I got my little notes here, do you want to remain friends, or do you want to move it into a romantic situation? And I'm going to mention about how Paul and I met, and what's up with us, and how we travel, how we get along traveling. Now, there are some known cases that I am familiar with, some friends who have traveled with other people at different times, and some of the endings of that situation. Summer and winter, and also the caravans out there that you can travel with somebody and you can travel with the group. So let's get started with the pros and cons of what it is to travel with a friend or a lover. Well, there's different types of nomads. There's different types of the characteristics of a nomad, your style, I should say, your style of being a nomad. Some of you, it's almost half and half. Some of you like to, well, there's different, yeah. Some like cities, some like boondocking all the time. They either want to just stay in a city or they want to boondock all the time. So you got that difference. You're going to have to match that up. But you also have the type of, when you do travel, some of you like to go the byways and you like to take your time and look at things. I call you more of a tourist type. You want to go see every little thing, or at least a lot of it. But then you find somebody like me who, I go from point A, I know where I'm going to point B, and I want to get there so I can chill out, relax, and stop there. One reason I don't like to do a lot of the byways is because when I was solo, I didn't trust the byways. I didn't always trust the byways. I felt for a single solo female out there, I didn't feel safe. I like the regular interstate highways. I know that if I run into any problems mechanically that I can find that a tow truck can come and there's all kinds of people there, and then I feel safer. This is just me. When I'm on the byways, I just feel like, well, you're going through those little towns. So many of those little towns, they got the police. There's like one police, and and his brother is the judge, and they're just trying to make money, and they'll get you on 1 mile over the speed limit. How many times have you gone through those little byways, go through those little towns? They go, you're going 65, and all of a sudden it's down to 25 miles an hour. You gotta, and you know somebody's waiting with one of those speed guns. I don't like that. This is not my cup of tea. I'm just a female, and I don't want to get into any of that. I know what I know what small towns look like. I know what they look like. They're cool. But once I get to where I want to go, then I can relax and I can chill out. So there's those different types of nomads, how they want to do things. There's different types of expectations, the long-term intentions. Somebody might say, well, yeah, we're just friends. Let's travel as friends if it's a male-female. But one of you has something else in mind that might not work out. And I have seen that happen. I've seen it happen twice. To where they were just traveling as friends. But one of the reasons that the male wanted to travel with the female is because he wanted more. So he played along with the friendship for a while, right? But that wasn't the first intention whatsoever. And the female ended up kind of resenting it. It's like, well, wait a minute. Where is this going? I don't want it to go there. And eventually there was a clash and it had to break off. Yeah. Now, another pitfall is personality type. Wow. You got introverts and extroverts, and that's no problem. I think sometimes introverts and extroverts can work well together. But if you have, let's say you have somebody who's an introvert, but maybe they're an introvert because maybe they're not so honest, and nothing gets introverts, oh my gosh, because that can be an extrovert too. But what if there's another personality type, maybe they're not so honest, maybe they don't have good characteristics, maybe they're not, maybe they seem really nice and gentle, but as you get to know them, they really are more of a gruff type person, and they're not your gentle type anymore at all. And this can go for two gals too. Let's talk about also, let's incorporate the thoughts of two girls traveling together or three girls. That's not always perfect either. I know that there are cases where I've seen where 3 or 4 or 5 girls take off together, and a couple of them will click, and then a couple of them become like outsiders, and they kind of get pushed out because they might talk too much. Maybe they've been alone for so many years. They love to talk. They're always talking. They get up in the morning. They're early, so they're making noise in the morning. And the other ones want to sleep longer if they're out boondocking. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so you got to deal with that too. One thing, if you're a city person and you love to be in the city and you want to travel with somebody, well, I want to mention there's an air show going on. I'm near the Air Force Base, so sorry about this. Sounds pretty dramatic, doesn't it? But the jets are, what they do, the jets go up and then they do like the death dive, and yeah. So that's what that noise is. It could sound like thunder. Ooh, there's a storm. There's no storm. So if you're in the city, guess what? And you want to travel together and you want to be in the city, well, hello, if you're going to go park at night and you're going to go into a neighborhood, there's 2 of you. You have to get a place to park overnight that's going to accommodate 2 people. Yeah. I mean, you think, oh, that's no big deal, but it can be a big deal, especially depending on what type of a rig they have. That's going to depend on where you're going to be able to park at night. Like I have a minivan. Paul has a high top. There are certain cases where I'm real stealthy. He's got stickers on the back of his van, and he's got this high top. You know somebody's in there. And a lot of times he stays up later and he sits in his van. So there's that. So it's not been a problem, but every once in a while we do have to adjust to that. So are you willing to compromise? Are you willing to adjust? Well, you got those characteristics, the human characteristics. Now, I want to read you on my Minivan Lead This Nomad Life Facebook group. Go there, or be square. It's the Cool Kids Club. Let me find this. I did put a post out, and I asked everybody what are the characteristics that they would like in somebody to travel with. So let me find that. And I thought it was interesting. I really did. Okay. I only got 10 answers. I was hoping to get some more, but one of you said, someone that is mindful. Okay. I have traveled with several people, and at this stage, certain behaviors are deal breakers for me. Sometimes I wondered if this person actually was like they traveled in the same car, but let me read on. I need someone that is at least a little considerate of others. I will not travel with someone that gets on my nerves anymore, and I won't drive with someone that gets road rage at all. It sounded that when she said that, it was maybe like traveling that you were in the same car. When I'm talking about a travel partner or a travel buddy, I'm talking about you each have your own rigs. Okay, then another one says, someone that makes me laugh and forget my pain. Okay, so yeah, they want that. Someone said kindness. They want somebody to be kind. Well, that makes for a good travel partner. I think my point in this is that we've got to learn to be more specific than this. These are great qualities for a friend, but until you've actually had a travel partner, or you've seen some of the pitfalls of it, you're going to end up being a lot more specific. Okay, let me read on. Someone who is considerate of others, of course. And Paul is that, and I believe I am that for him too. Someone said, easygoing, loves life, content, but has goals and dreams too. Good morals, loves the Lord of Lords and King of Kings would be a plus. So they want somebody to be a Christian, like they are. So yeah, I mean, you want somebody easygoing and loves life and has goals. But if you're going to deal with a travel partner, and I know that this person, I believe this person is retired, you're going to want somebody who's retired, so has goals. Okay, I was thinking this one might be more thinking about a romantic relationship. Yeah. The next one, compassionate for others. If you have that, so many other good qualities will be present too. Exactly. But we have to go on what the style is of their lives. That's why when it's not like getting married, but in a way, it can be. It can be. You are going to be going with this person, and you're going to be making major life decisions. Where are we going to go? One person might want to go here, and one person might want to go there. But I'm going to read on. We'll talk about that in a minute. This one said, I've got no one. Well, okay. Someone else said, someone who loves quiet togetherness. Yes. Now see, she was thinking quiet togetherness. You don't always want to be yapping at each other. You just want to be there for support for each other, right? And she said, that'd be my husband as soon as he retires this fall. Okay. And then this other one said, someone who isn't hell-bent on getting to the destination. Okay. That's what I already talked about. Who is willing to go off the beaten path, take country roads, and see sights. Who is okay with taking 7 days to drive that would normally take 2. I'm usually traveling alone. See, it's hard to find somebody like that. That wouldn't be me. I wouldn't be a good travel partner because I want to get there and then I want to relax. I don't want to be on the road every single day. And here's why. Why? Why wouldn't I want to take 7 days? Because I'd be in the car 7 days traveling. I want to get there and get back into my routine. I want to go to the gym. I want to exercise. I want to eat right. If I'm traveling all the time and being a tourist and sightseeing, that stuff isn't going to happen. And then I start doing a nosedive on my life. I like routine. So I want to go from here. I want to get there and I want to get back to my routine. There was one in here that I thought was good and they must have taken it down. Let's see, all comments. I did put all comments. But one of you said, oh, it was a guy. I think he took it off. Oh, here's the one. It was a guy said, someone who has a positive attitude and loves life, and they're not afraid to get a little dirt under their nails. This is what a guy said. And someone who helps with whatever it is that needs done. Ooh. Does he want somebody to cook for him? I love you. But I thought there was a girl that said this, because I didn't read the name and it, you know. And I thought, oh, she wants a mechanic, get dirt under the nails and help whenever it needs to be done. But when I saw it was a guy, I thought I went right into sorry that I stereotype. I was thinking, oh, he wants somebody who's not afraid to get their hands dirty, do some cooking and get the dishes done. No. Sorry. And your name was Mike. Sorry, Mike. That's stereotypical, isn't it? You might have been thinking, well, you just don't want somebody who's like me that is more prissy. Yeah, somebody doesn't put makeup on and doesn't want to get, no, I do get my hands dirty. If you've noticed, I might do like my skin and my hair and my face and things like that. And my clothes, I like nice clothes. But if you look at my hands, oh, they're as short as can be. Cuticles, I have cuticles the size of Manhattan. I do not take care of my hands, and here's why. If I start doing it, I wouldn't want to get my hands dirty. I just get them dirty. I do not take care of my hands. I might buff them up. I cut them all the time and I buff them, but okay, well, we won't go into that. So those are the characteristics that on the Facebook group, my characteristic would be somebody who enjoys city life. Somebody who is willing to wait for me as a YouTuber, a YouTube creator, because a lot of times I will tell you, and in a minute I'll go into Paul and I, he waits for me a lot. Paul does, not all the time, but he does, I'll bet 60 to 65% of the compromising when it comes to me. And he doesn't mind. He says, I understand. You've got to do a video. You've got to edit a video. And so what he does, because he doesn't mind just kind of chilling out with Abby in his van and taking her for walks here and there. He doesn't mind that. He doesn't mind city life. So those are I need somebody who is going to, if they want to travel with me, they would have to be very compromising on that. Well, let me get back to this. So those are the characteristics. You've got to be more specific. Okay, do you want friendship or do you want romance? You've got to list that in the beginning. Now, later it could come. I mean, Paul and I were just friends. We were just friends. In fact, let me go ahead and let me just take this moment to tell you about how we met. We met in Quartzsite. I was with a girlfriend. She was not a full-timer, but we were friends. She wanted to go to Quartzsite. And so I said, well, let's go. We happened to park close to him, sort of. The next morning, he came over and he says, are you Minivan Lee? I've watched your videos. And yes. So then it was about a week later, I went back to Quartzsite and I parked and I was walking. You know, I do a lot of walking and I saw his van. He had one of those windsocks and I recognized. So I went up and talked to him again and, hey, Paul, I knew his name. You know, I remember people's names. And said, hey, Paul, how you doing? He's like, oh, it's you. So we talked, and then I moved, came back, and I would always go over and see him. I would see Abby. We became friends. Then we had a group together, Jack, and there were a few other people. Max came and parked with us. And I started to get to know Paul quite a bit better. And I mentioned to him at one point before our trip in Quartzsite was over that if he ever wanted to travel together, you know, text me, and because I think that we have a good chemistry as far as personalities go, which we do. That's a given. We have a good chemistry between the two of us. He tickles me and I tickle him. He's a little bit more the straight man, and I'm the goofy, a little bit goofy one. I love to laugh, and I love to make him laugh, and he loves to laugh too. But that's how we met. And then he went back to Michigan, and then finally decided I'm going to go full time. And he came out to Reno, and then we went on the West Coast to the beach, and we've been traveling together ever since. On and off, mostly on, but there's our off times, because guess what? We get tired of each other. We really do. We do get on each other's nerves. Oh yeah, we do. And we know when it's time to go, and we will go and take a week or two off. Then we miss each other and come back. Yes, we love each other. We love each other, but it's not to the point where we just want to move in together, that we want to get married, and we want to have this love ever, life, what is it, happy ever after, where, yeah, I mean, as long as we're together, I love him and he loves me, but I'm telling you, there are those times where it's like, dude, I'm going to go. You go. If you want to go, go. Because you're getting on my nerves now. And I think it's because we're older. And I don't think we spend so much time together, because a lot of cases I'm in my van and he's in his. I go over and talk to him in his van. He rarely comes over here because there's not that much room. But I will tell you, Paul is the perfect travel buddy for me, because he cares a lot about me and he wants to be there for me. I care about him and I want to be there in case, what if something happened? I mean, what if something happened to any of us? What if he fell? What if his health went down all of a sudden? I want to be there for him because I care. What if something happened to me? He doesn't want anybody hurting me. So we take our time away from each other, but then we come back and we miss each other so much. And yes. Now, what are the chances that you're going to find somebody like that? I don't know. I know I'm going to say it. It's rare. It's rare that this would happen. I have seen one couple, they were traveling together for a while, almost like 9 months. I think he wanted more and she didn't. And so that was the end of that one. In another case that I know of, they traveled, well, no, there's other cases. In another case, it was almost the same thing, and she did not want that. And so it happened that way. Now, there is another case. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize this. I know another, they're older. They traveled together for at least 4 or 5 years together. And I remember that he told me when we were talking, he goes, oh yeah. I said, well, you guys travel together? Are you a couple? And he goes, I want to be, but she doesn't. She's very private. He said, I think she's had some sorrow in her life and she doesn't want a relationship. But they were always together doing things. I just think it's rare to meet somebody on the road like that. The best couples that I've seen out here that do well, they were already married before they ever, or living together. They were a couple before they ever became nomads. I find it very rare because I don't get around that much. And if you know somebody like that, leave a message in comments. Also, let's talk about just friends, okay? We talked about the romance, but you got to put it out there right away. What are you thinking? But later, if you do think, well, I think I kind of like you more now, just get it out there. If she wants to run away, then let her run away, because it's never going to work anyways. And if he says it to her or she says it to him, you know, they might go ahead and say, I kind of like you more. I kind of think I like you more than just friends. How do you feel about it? And you'll know. You'll get the feel of what it's like. But as far as friends go, here's something I'm going to say. You might find a travel partner for a short period of time, because you got to come to a balance. I'm going here. Well, the other person, I don't want to go there, but you really want to go there. I want to go to the coast. I want to be on the beach. The other person says, I don't want to go to California. One person says, well, I'm going to go up to the state parks up in Washington. The other one goes, I was kind of thinking New Mexico. That's really where I want to go. Yeah. So what you're going to need to do is find another travel partner that might want to go to Washington and see the state parks up there or something like that. I've seen people have travel partners, but for shorter periods of time, not for the long haul. Now, if you do want a travel partner, here's how you're going to get one. You need to make a list and write down what characteristics, what you want in a travel partner, what's your style of being a nomad, what are you willing to compromise on, and all the characteristics that you want that person to have. Then what I want you to do is go be it, because you will attract like-minded people. Your energy will attract that person. I kind of knew what I wanted, and I do have a video out that says, today a dream of mine came true. I talked about that. I realized that day, and I did a video on it. Paul and I both did it together, that, oh my gosh, I had visioned myself traveling with somebody. And all of a sudden it came to me, oh my gosh, it came true. Everything that I wanted, I had right then and there. And I hadn't realized it for a while, that what I wanted, I got. And so, yeah, I was so grateful. Like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for helping me to realize that. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to decide what you want to do and who you want to be with, the type of person, and I want you to go write it down. Now, here's something else. In the summer, a lot of people, not a nomad scatter in the summer, so, you know, don't count on somebody unless you're really clicking. That person might need to go home. Now, if you're in a really close relationship, they may follow you. If I had to go home, or if Paul had to go home, like he had to go back to Michigan where his kids are, or I had to go to Ohio to see my daughter where my domicile is, he would go with me. And if he had to go to Michigan, I would probably go with him. Why not? You know, it's a travel. So in the summer and the winter, it's going to be different. Last but not least, are caravans. You can travel in a caravan, and I don't normally put out other people's organizations, you know, but I will in this case. Hawa. Go to Hawa website, or what is it, their Facebook group. How do you find Hawa? I kind of forget. You can put down below, but Hawa has caravans. Go get in a caravan. If you don't want to travel alone, you're going to get to know people. Go travel in a caravan. Paul and I have thought about doing it at least once just to see what it's like. We've met a lot of people that do the caravans. In fact, one of our really great friends, Rhonda, she worked for Hawa, and she was handling a lot of different things for Hawa. And so I got to meet some of the people that she was caravanning with. So yeah, Hawa, Home on Wheels Association. Yeah, it's a nonprofit organization. So I hope. Oh, I see it. Woo! He's going fast. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Seriously, I wanted to get this subject out. So many of you said, I want to travel with somebody. I want to find somebody like Paul. Or somebody said, I want to find somebody like Lise, you know, yeah, and vice versa. So this is a skinny This is what it's like finding somebody. I'm just going to say it ain't easy, and it ain't easy getting along. It just isn't. You are going to have different ideas of what you want to do. You almost have to be in a decent relationship. It has to be a relationship, maybe not lovers relationship, but there has to be a real meshing, a meshing of ideas and care for each other for you to compromise like that. Because guess what? Nomads are fiercely independent. That's why we're nomads. To get 2 nomads together or 3 nomads together, that would even be more phenomenal. To do the same things. Oh my gosh. Another thing too is a characteristic. Do not yoke with, if you've got a good pension and money coming in, do not yoke with somebody. I mean, go ahead, but there are pitfalls of yoking with somebody who is really down and out. You're either going to be spending your money to help them, or there's going to end up being, you're not going to be able to do the same things together, because that person who doesn't have the same kind of income coming in, they're going to need to stay put more often. So there's all these things you need to think about. Oh yeah. So see ya tomorrow, maybe. Please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Go to minivanlee.com for all the good stuff I got on there. And the book. Mwah. I love you guys. Bye.